first round pick. Hey, throw that list away. All right.
Why are we around?
Welcome to the show. It's a Chiefs Blitz night. Breaking down the plays, keeping everything tight. From my homes to the defense, we give you the scoop. Real talk, real stats, we the ultimate troop. This ain't no game, it's our passion on display.
The baby himself.
Chiefs Blitz podcast, real fans unite. Every touchdown scored, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yes, never too late.
I would even bring MVS back in the middle of the season.
What? Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar, sponsored by ChiefsBlitz.com, presented by UnderdogFantasy.com. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
All right. Look at that.
Nick,
riding the MVS train till it dies. I'm all in, man.
Nick in the green room be getting it in, man. I see you in the green room. You're on the other side.
I like the theme music. Well done, boys. That's really great. All right, here we are. Four Guys in a Bar. It's draft week, and we are presented by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news and analysis, and, of course, the home of the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. I'm your host, Nick Athan, along with Mr. Hense Todd, producer extraordinaire, partner in this crazy venture. And here we go. Draft week. It is Monday. We're going to have 3 shows for you this week. Thursday, bell to bell first round. Friday, bell to bell second and third round. And Saturday, bell to bell rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. Even though at the moment the Chiefs don't have a 5th or a 6th. So we're going to be working early in the fourth round a little bit. And then between that, it's going to be a whole lot of who knows what they're going to do with 1 mid-level 7th round and 2 near the end. So who knows?
So with that said, let's get into our sponsor before we bring in Mr. Lou and Coach Drake.
Baseball is back.
That's right. Baseball is back on Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you cash in today. You can play the Pick'em game. It's very similar to what you did with the NFL where you're doing the Chiefs stuff. Now it's all about baseball, and especially the Royals. You can go higher or lower. It's really simple to use. Their app is amazing. You just choose your entry fee. You decide what you want to play, and you just see the winnings coming if you know what you're doing. So take a swing today and make sure that you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, and they're going to give you a meatball right off the gamut, Bobby Wood Jr. special. So start with a W for your first entry and new customers. Make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz.
That is right, UnderdogFantasy.com. Make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz, whether you're doing the NBA, whether you're doing Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA playoffs started with a few interesting games. Major League Baseball is going. The Royals ended a 6-game streak. So there's a lot of really great stuff that you can play this game on. It's very similar to the game that you did during the football season. You can do that with baseball, NBA, college sports, no matter what it is. They are your one-stop shop for the best fantasy game out there. All right, we're joined by Mr. Lou Montagna.
Hey.
The other senior member shaking his head. I'm not sure what that's about. And then Mr. Coach Andre Tillman.
What's happening? What's going on?
Trying to find the opportunities and props for the NFL draft on Underdog. I'm not seeing them.
I thought I saw an email they were going to do something.
I personally am in a state that does not participate with our sponsor, but you can still look it up and see what they have, because it just seems like it's such a natural. I mean, this is the time of year you've got. I mean, what league gets the most attention gambling wise? And I don't think this is like the no-brainerest of no-brainer questions. It's the NFL. The last time you could bet on the NFL was the Super Bowl. This is the only time this week that you can bet on NFL until next, the preseason if you're so inclined to bet the summer league.
Yep.
But we need to get up with them and see what's up. They got
I will send out an email today. I want to shout out to my good friend.
Let's say we're excited because this week is draft week, gentlemen. Everybody been putting their drafts in, and everybody talking about go O line and D line. Some people say safety, some people say cornerback, some people say special teams. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we are here, gentlemen. It is draft week. Lou, Nick, Bo, we are here ready to rock.
And I think when coach says some people, he means himself.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you said about that? No, no. I know what I said. I know I said it's for everybody. Everybody got their own
yourself. Some people say special teams.
He just loves the sound of his own voice.
That's what you said, Lou. That's what you said. I don't know. I probably the only one doing it. Who knows?
All right.
Hey, that's exactly what I said.
Quick shout out to my friend Chris Radley down in Tampa. I appreciate you checking in, Chris. Hope all's well. Please subscribe to the channel.
Let's go, Chris.
Friends. Let's do it.
All right, height, weight, speed. How'd you hear of us?
I've known Chris I've known Chris for years.
Evidently, Nick is a creeper.
Performance,
whatever. Like sneaks up on these people and gets all sorts of personal information.
Ken, I'm going to ride the MVS train because I will say this without any hesitation. Without MVS in the postseason, the Chiefs don't win back-to-back Super Bowls because he was just rock solid. That's all I'm going to say.
What's up, Kareem? What's up, Kansas Declare? What's up,
King Mo? DS
is in here. Come on, Demetrio. My Lenny Dawson stuff's waiting for you. Did you buy your wife? Did you take care of the things you need to take care of first? Let's rock and roll. All right, just kidding. Yes.
So with that said, man, we got we got mock drafts coming up. You know what I mean? You got a lot of stuff that's happening. Like Nick said, don't forget, on Thursday, guys, we will be here at 6:45 Central Time, guys. It's gonna be a back-to-back shows Friday, Saturday. You know what I mean? Hey, you don't want to miss your latest Chiefs news at Four Guys in a Bar. So with that said, man, let's go ahead and get Nick threw in some questions earlier this morning.
We'll see if they're any good or not. I did those on a hurry, so we'll see.
Before we get to that, I almost forgot. Excuse me, Mango. Get into the updates.
All right, the updates. First and foremost, according to Matt McMillan, Phase 1 of the Chiefs off-season training camp program begins today and lasts for 2 weeks. The portion of the program is called team meetings, which once again take place virtually, as it has in recent years. So what this means is Patrick Mahomes is going to be in Texas with the wide receivers, and they're going to be working out.
Or anybody that wants to show up, Nick, not just the pass catchers. Hey, we got running backs there, tight ends. Let's go.
I know MVS ain't going to show up because he's in.
He is being paid by another franchise.
Honestly, MVS is kicking butt over there.
He could if he wanted to,
man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any rules about that. I'm sure the team
actually probably there might not be.
His team might frown upon it a bit.
Probably.
Man, I'm just saying, MVS found a better system. Maybe found a better system.
Hey, I heard one guy was down there. He's standing 6'5", 125. He goes to TCU. He was there. I don't want to say his name because I'm not
his name.
He's a team in trouble.
Just save it for the mock draft. I'm sure he's in there somewhere.
Just rest assured.
All right. According to David Merritt, Sr., the fellows, be grateful if you've been selected. Many will not have their names called. That's right. Only 256?
257. That's our last pick.
257. That's right. I was close. Yeah. Only 257 guys will be drafted. There'll be another 15 to 20 per team is undrafted free agents.
Yeah, probably about 600 guys. So 857 will be in camp. And then you got 37 guys per team will get cut.
Right. Yeah.
So
I don't think people realize. I thought about this the other day. If you want to make it to the NFL, I mean, you start high school football and Friday Night Lights is everywhere. I mean, it's every corner of the United States. You got all these players, and then they shuffle some of them off to college, and that shrinks even more down to the NFL and the very few opportunities that there are to make it to the big show.
Like the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah,
and you hear things occasionally. It's a 7th round, whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, dude, you're talking about, again, a very good athlete, somebody that's worked their whole life, whatever. Right. And again, it's only 7 guys per team.
It's crazy.
And then, depending on how the picks go, you might have more than that. You might have less. But at the end of the day, it's 257 guys get drafted. So if you're a 7th round pick, hey, you got picked in the NFL draft. So that tells you just how good you really are. You may not make the team.
Yeah,
but to be in position to do it, it's got to be just a great feeling for all those guys that have worked their asses off their entire life.
Good.
To ask King Mo's question, did Rasheed
yes,
Rice
Pat worked out with Rasheed Rice last year or 2 years ago, before the NFL draft, before he was on the official.
Somebody on this panel said something about TCU guys down there.
Yeah. SMU, TCU, Texas Tech.
Shout out to Bo with that one, man. Hey, he's calling money right now. He's calling money. We just saying money. He's calling money.
first from here?
You heard the former Bo, man.
The former Southwestern Conference. So
I think I heard that there was either there's a relative of Patrick Mahomes, a receiver that's eligible for this draft. I'm not sure who that is. Because is it his cousin?
No, his brother.
It's his brother. Okay. Huh?
So I don't know if it's his brother.
Let's not speculate. I'm sure somebody can dig it up very quickly.
Yes.
Somebody across the
somewhere.
pond with that kind of access.
All right. Chiefs updates. The Chiefs met virtually with Florida cornerback Jason Marshall Jr. They're spending a lot of times visiting cornerbacks here in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
What that tell you, Nick? I mean, they're addressing a major need in the secondary, man.
Third, fourth, and seventh round could be rich in cornerbacks.
Hey,
so,
man, shit.
get me Kobe Bryant. All right, the Chiefs also met virtually with Colorado wide receiver Will Shepard, according to Aaron Wilson.
Will Shepard,
very dialed in. I like him. I think he's got some potential.
Pretty good. Hey, just move the chains. Guys that can move the chains, man, with Patrick Mahomes, steady and move the chains with good hands, gentlemen.
Yeah,
there we go. It's his half brother.
Got a lot of size, right? I mean, he's a bigger guy. He wasn't as much hairlet, obviously, as Hunter or Jimmy Horn and some of the other receivers they had. But he always seemed to make the big plays when they came his way. Question with him was the speed. He ran. I think he ran a 4.5 at the Colorado Showcase. So that probably kind of checked that box for teams. So, but a lot of these guys, like they said, I mean, the guys that they have in for 30s, and I think Brett said as much during his press conference, is, typically these ones that you haven't heard, a lot of them just weren't at the combine.
Yeah. So
they're getting medicals on them, seeing what kind of shape they're in, just kind of an idea of kind of where they're at physically. And I think that's probably the most important thing, is that, they have the tape and all that.
Right.
But a lot of these guys, you're talking again in those 3 picks in the 7th round.
Yeah.
You got a lot of guys with a ton of talent. Maybe they didn't have as many opportunities in college. Maybe they were underachievers and whatever. But typically in that 7th round, you're looking for traits. And if they have the traits, coaches think they can work with them. Maybe you find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, there definitely been some 7th round gems. The Chiefs also met with Miami wide receiver Sam Brown this week virtually. He also met with the team a couple of weeks ago in Kansas City. We are obviously speculating wide receiver and certainly tight end are going to be a couple of positions we think the Chiefs are going to draft. But now this is the second visit for him. And again, some of these teams can do virtual visits. Sometimes they meet
Scott Moore all over again.
What's that?
I said he reminds me of Scott Moore, man. The kid.
Well, Sky Moore's down there working with the Chiefs.
Scott Moore fit the damn system, bro. He just in his own head. He
was one of those guys during the draft process. As we got closer to the draft, it was like, oh my, we found something here. And this wasn't the Chiefs. It was just kind of like, if you're watching, NFL Network, if you're watching
everybody,
some of these guys, they were really hyping Sky Moore. Nobody more than who was it? Guy, he used to be a GM in with the Giants. He's on NFL Network, but he loved Sky Moore. He thought he was like his 2nd or 3rd receiver that year,
right?
And he was going to go in the 1st round and all this, and he slips to the 2nd, and that's why you just never know. You've got humans looking at humans, and everybody looks at the game in a different perspective, right? So you can have like 10 guys that like them, but then you might have 20 teams that say we just don't see it, the way those 10 do. But as always, it only takes one team.
Who knows?
Hey, I'm gonna let that slide, Kareem. Kareem, we're talking noise. I'm gonna let that slide, Kareem. I'm gonna let that one slide, sir.
Kareem has earned the right. He's earned the right to say what he wants.
Yeah, he's right. It's coming.
All right, let's keep the train moving. The Chiefs also met with Vanderbilt inside offensive lineman Stephen Lasoya, per Justin M. of the NFL. Again, the Chiefs all these visits are kind of geared to areas of need. So, you're going to see a lot of that. Also met with the Chiefs appeared, per Aaron Wilson and his sources, to be very interested in defensive lineman from Akron, Nathan Kapongo. I love the name. Kapongo for the sack.
Like that name? Kapongo.
Mitch Holtis will have a field day with that one. He'll come up with a great nickname for that. But again, offense, defensive line, wide receiver, tight end, cornerback. Those are going to be the areas in which they're going to have to survey the draft, and we'll see how many picks they end up with.
I think the secondary is probably a point that can really get some depth down there. So, like I said, I'm all for them getting that number one corner, number one DB. Yeah, I'm all for that, and the safety too.
Yep.
Yeah. So
with that said, who's going to be that one pick that shocks the draft?
Lou. Just in general, or for the Chiefs?
Yeah, and not just in general.
In the draft.
In general, I kind of alluded to it, because everybody and everybody's brother, every mock draft you've seen probably since the process started at the end of the year has Ashton Jeanty going 6 to the Raiders, which tells me that he's not going to the Raiders.
No way.
I don't know that he makes it that far. You got to get one team. I posited during a factor cap that perhaps New England would do it because the tackles that are supposedly the top tackles aren't quite at that level that you'd want to use the 4th pick on. I don't know that anybody's going to trade up to come and get Ashton Jeanty, but he's one of those dudes. If you want to say there's this many dudes in the draft, right? Meaning Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Tyler Warren, Ashton Jeanty. 2 of them are at positions that you typically don't draft high. You typically don't draft a running back in the top 10. You typically don't draft a tight end in the top 10, but those are probably 2 of the top 5 or 6 players in the draft. So I think that would probably be the pick, that if at 4 or 5, it's Jeanty or Tyler Warren, because I think so many people have them a little further down the board.
Yeah.
I would say Ursery sneaking into the first round will be a shock.
Of course, it's a gold jacket guy.
I'm just saying, Ursery sneaking into the first round. It goes probably higher than the Chiefs. It probably beat up, the second or third offensive tackle taken off the board, and everybody goes, "What? I thought he had a second round grade." So that would be a shock to me.
I think my biggest shock for me.
Would it really be a shock to you, Hensley? It's one of your gold jackets. It would be like, of course, yes, that's that. So they had it right.
It's gonna be a lot of shock to others, but not shock to me.
My biggest shock, guys. My big thrilling shock for real, guys. I know everybody on the panel been like, Dre, you right, you absolutely correct. A guy from Florida State, 5'11". The focus, the accuracy, the leg power, man. I'm talking about Ryan Fitzgerald, man. Ryan Fitzgerald, man, from the Florida State Seminoles, man. The guy has some leg strength, some power. Taking a kicker in the first round would shock everybody, man. Listen, hell, it'll shock me. It would shock me.
Yeah.
So
well, thank God it's not going to happen, and someone's going to have some common sense. Clearly, you're missing that today.
Who are you specifically pointing these towards? Like, what is there a portion of the audience that like goes for this?
Hey, man, I show love to everybody, man.
No, I mean, do you truly believe there are people watching and listening right now that want to hear?
In my heart and soul, yes. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Lou. I'm sorry, it's not your taste, Lou. I'm sorry for the kids, not your taste.
Listen,
they won't comment.
They won't. They don't even want to talk about it.
You know what's crazy?
The silent majority, right?
You know what's crazy? People don't comment. Why don't people comment on special teams, guys? Tell me why those special team players get no love. Y'all tell me that. Why not? Why don't they get love? Why?
They do get love.
No, wait. I want. Go ahead, Bo. My bad. Go ahead, Bo. Explain yourself, sir.
I said they do get love from you.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, man? You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm sorry, guys, that they ain't wide receivers, they ain't DBs, they ain't the popular picks, they ain't the popular position. But I'm saying, when the game's on the line, who do you go to? Special teams. When the game's on the line, we just need a good kicker. And we gotta show love to these people, bro. We can't keep talking about the same positions, bro.
You are.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man.
That would shock the draft.
I'm just saying, man.
What about you, Nick?
I think Sanders drops out of the first round. That would be my biggest shock. I don't see it. I know a lot of people do. There's been talk he's going to go in the top 5. Maybe go to the Raiders. I don't know. I think he's going to be available on Friday night, and I think that first pick is going to be pretty valuable, for people who watch him slide. But I don't see the NFL arc yet. I get the family stuff and I get the name. And, if you just watch what he did at Colorado, he was brilliant at some plays. He wasn't brilliant in others, which is the job of, what you got to fight through for every starting quarterback. But to me, that's going to be the biggest shock. That's the one pick that no one is going to make in round 1.
One of the guys this morning and talking about Shedeur Sanders brought up a good point. Like, what if his name was Shedeur Smith?
Exactly.
Would we even be thinking about him in the top 5?
No,
not that he's a bad player. He's certainly a good player. And then the other piece is that if he was in last year's draft, if any of these quarterbacks outside of Cam Ward were in last year's draft, they would have been like QB 7, 8, and 9, meaning like Shedeur, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, those guys that are kind of regarded as below Cam Ward. And Cam Ward would probably have been like 5th. Right. So that's what you have to ask yourself. It's almost like if he doesn't go to the Giants, which seems like they've done the most work on him, that's like the team that he's most associated with. If he doesn't go there, good chance he gets all the way down to Pittsburgh unless somebody decides to trade back up.
So basically without saying the last name for Shedeur, that's what's carrying him, like keeping him high in the draft.
That would keep him in the conversation in the top 10. Right now, there are other people that love it. I mean, it's really what you believe, because he doesn't have an elite arm. He's got a very good arm.
Got a good arm,
elite arm. Yeah. Doesn't have elite speed, good enough speed. He's very accurate, but again, that comes with some caveats in terms, if you just look strictly at completion percentage, a lot of his passes are thrown close to the line of scrimmage, right? So that completion percentage might be a little inflated. But, what you do see is a guy that kind of processes, might hold it a little bit too long, takes a few too many sacks, but those are things that can all be kind of worked on.
You can correct that.
Caleb Williams took too many sacks, and he took too many sacks last year.
So, I think.
So he doesn't do anything in an elite way, but he certainly, I think, is good enough to play in the league.
I think it's his poise, though. I think if you look at the Colorado's offensive line, it was horrible. The guys he was throwing the ball to really wasn't getting no separation for real. So it's like you being poised to stand in that pocket and waiting for the separation. You can't really put it on Shedeur. Just like he want to get his guy. He wants to get his guy the ball, right? But your line doesn't help you, and the receivers don't get separation. I'm like, what more can you do? You know what I'm saying? You can only do what you can. I thought
the receivers were pretty good. I think Travis Hunter was pretty much open at any time he lined up wide.
Well, that's different.
So it's just, and again, you're not always going against pro corners. So there's so many different things that factor into it. But I guess my point is that he doesn't have any elite characteristics, but when you put everything together, he can certainly be that guy that beats you from the pocket.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly.
But if you're going to take somebody in the top 5, normally you want to see some otherworldly skills that you say, oh, okay, we're going to use this top 5 pick, because otherwise we're going to pass on some guys at other positions that might be Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Tyler Warren, Ashton Gint, like some of these guys that look like they're going to be the true gold jackets of this draft. So no offense, Hense.
Right. Speaking of the Golden Jackets and the quarterbacks and everything, what position will start to go off the boards fast in the first round, or off the board first in the first round? What position? It ain't that many. Go ahead, Drake. I know they ain't
my
that
bad.
Many Go ahead.
I think tackles definitely tackle and D ends are definitely going. I think the trenches are definitely gonna go first, man. Everybody gonna eat. Like I'm saying, they're gonna build their front end up. They're the front to the back. No, I'm gonna say front. D line, offensive line. They're gonna eat. They're gonna eat because
specifically the pass rushers, whether they're a defensive end,
exactly,
or like a 3-4 linebacker. There's like 6 or 7 that's. Yeah, hell, if there's no elite quarterbacks, next best thing outside of the offensive lineman, which again, these top guys in Will Campbell, Armin Membu, some of the others aren't really regarded as top 10 talent or top 10 players in the draft, but they're the best at their position. So are these teams going to kind of bypass that, like New England, who absolutely needs a tackle? Right. But Campbell's not really elite. I mean, this could be like another Joe Tooney type player, which is great.
Right.
But that would be more so, I think he would see his best play at guard. So I would say any of the edge rushers, I think there's probably about 6 or 7 of them.
About 6 or 7, yeah.
Once the first one goes, teams are going to get a little antsy. And some teams that you thought were projected to take other players would probably go with the pass rusher.
I definitely agree with you. Once that first end goes, it's going to be like a domino effect.
I'd say it'd be the wide receivers because it ain't that many that's coming out this draft. So you're going to see, once you start seeing like some of the big names, like T-Mac or Golden start falling, then you start seeing those wide receivers get taken because there ain't that many that's coming out this draft this year.
Right.
Like you're gonna start seeing those guys start to fly off the board more, and plus dealing with the contracts, and some people got contracts coming up on some teams, and you got the contract
positions, right?
So yeah, that position there is going to start flying off the board.
No, I definitely agree with you. Like especially those type of receivers, the higher ranked receivers, they're going to go first. They're going to go first though. Now I agree with you 100% because after them, and nobody else people talking about for real. Like after the top guys,
I think these receivers are getting pushed down because I don't know that any of them really have any like elite qualities. You've got a couple of guys that have a ton of speed, but they not necessarily, some of the other skills that you're looking for. McMillan is a very polarizing player.
Sure
right?
is.
I mean, on tape for his first 4 years, you like everything about him. But for some reason, he's not regarded. Like, let's say last year, you had Harrison, Neighbors, Thomas, Xavier. Who else? Who was there was another one in there.
Mitchell.
But no, I'm saying the guys that went in the first round.
Oh, the first round. Brian Harris, Neighbors.
Samuel Worthy.
Was it your guy?
There was another
Brandon Rice.
Another one. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
my point is this: I don't know if any of these guys in this draft would have went ahead of any of those guys in last year's draft. Maybe some of the guys, maybe like McMillan ahead of Worthy just because of the size factor.
Yeah.
But that's where you're not going to push wide receiver up because I think the perception is the most value in this class at wide receiver actually is a little bit later in the draft, right? In the like late first, second, and even in the third and fourth round. So, yeah, I mean,
that's
I hear you, Hense. You want to have wide receivers, but outside of like maybe Dallas, because they huge need a number 2 receiver, but they've got other holes as well. So if they like McMillan, I could see him going that high. But other than that, I think those receivers get pushed down into the teens and maybe even the 20s.
So basically, what you're saying, Lou, like the majority of receivers are going high in the second round. So these guys, the receivers coming out really in first round.
First, early second. I mean, if you regard Travis Hunter as a wide receiver, which he is part-time, obviously he's going to go at probably at 2. I don't think any later than 3. So he's going to Cleveland or the Giants, I believe.
All right, we got a couple of questions. First, King Mo, could Cleveland trade their 34th pick to go up and get Shadur? Maybe they trade with the Chiefs. It's entirely possible if he's the Chiefs. If he's still there, that pick 31 is going to be a tradable pick for the Chiefs if their guy isn't there.
It depends on who else, right?
Yeah.
If teams regard Shedeur, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Shuck, all these guys kind of in a basket, I could see the Giants and the Browns just sitting there waiting until Friday.
Yeah, I can see
saying, okay, if one of those guys falls, it's great, but we're not going to give up assets to go get a guy that we kind of like, but why give up 2 picks for, I don't know. It just doesn't seem very likely if he gets that far.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're afraid that they're afraid of Pittsburgh and they trade up, they're going to trade up ahead of Pittsburgh.
They'd have to go way ahead of him. Another question.
If he falls all the way to 31, Nick, or if he's available at 31, they'll just say, screw it. The Eagles aren't going to take a quarterback. The Chiefs aren't going to take a quarterback. They'll say, screw it. We'll just wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Unless the Giants and the Browns get into a bidding war and want to move up. But
then all of a sudden those 2 picks become very valuable to other teams. If you say, screw it, we're just not going to do a quarterback.
Right. All right. Mark Murray's got a question. Do you see the Chiefs trading up? And if so, who do they get? I mean, I think
we'll get into that in the mock draft.
Okay, fair enough.
We're
actually doing trades on our mock draft, Mark. So hang with us.
We're teasing one of our listeners, one of our
new ones. Appreciate you.
Come on, Mark. We got you.
So can the Chiefs walk away with 4 stars from this year's draft?
I believe they can. Absolutely. 4 starters. I don't know if they're able to get 4 stars or even 1 star.
Starters.
What you think, Bo?
Well, that's my point. Is I don't think there's a ton of stars to be had in this draft, at least the way it looks right now. But you can get starters, I think, all the way through the draft. So 4, I think. Yeah, I mean, again, you got a lot of things to factor in: health, character. You would hope all that stuff is put to bed by now. But yes, absolutely.
How about you, Bo? You think you get 4 stars out of this draft?
Yeah. If they follow my board, they will get it.
This dude, bro.
Where's that whiteboard at?
You'll see it.
It's coming.
It's got the black curtain over it right now, Nick. Nobody can see that.
Nobody can see that board.
No, man.
No.
My wife, she's decorating it right now. So it's probably
put some love on the board.
There's more security at Hensley's house than Fort Knox.
Yes, I think you're going to get a tackle, offensive, defense that are going to start for the Chiefs this year. I think that's 2.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see. I personally think a running back is going to start ahead of the trio that they have now, and I think you're going to see a surprise 7th round pick who's just going to floor him as the 4th.
I say if the Chiefs go DB early, they go DB in the 1st. He's definitely going to start. I know that for a fact. They go DB. That DB starting. They definitely start if they go early, 1st or 2nd.
The difficult thing is with those interior defensive linemen or even edge rushers, it's hard to do they start? Probably not. But they're going to get a lot of snaps, be in the rotation, and get a chance to play. Yeah. So just because people will say, wait a second, you're sitting, you got George, you got Chris Jones, you got Charlie O, you brought in Tillery, you've got Dana, like all these.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of rotational pieces. Like he might not be.
At that position would be difficult, but that would probably one of those guys will be one of the top 4 picks. In which case, you would say that he's good enough to start.
Yep. All right.
They said, how many selections will the Chiefs walk away with? And let's get right into that with the mock draft with Lou starting.
Here we go.
Wow. Okay. Wait. What's the question again? I just want to
go
sure.
Ahead.
How many draft selections will the Chiefs walk away with this weekend? So I guess the
question is here: are they trading up or are they trading down? Right. So. I've got no trades once again. I stayed true to everything, and I went a little rogue here. Yeah, everybody everybody says they're going to zig and take offensive linemen. I'm going to zag and go the other way. So obviously, anybody that's been watching the show knows my affection for Walter Nolan. I don't think he's going to make it to this point. And just to tease, I'm going to give you my I guess, most complete of the 47 mock drafts that we will end up doing this off season. But I'll do that on Thursday before the draft. But Walter Nolan, I mean, I'm just doubling up here at defensive tackle. Alfred Collins is sitting there as well, 6'6", 330. You're not going to be able to move this guy. No. Very athletic. He was second team All-American. I mean, not just in the in the SEC. He was second team All-American. Perfect body type for the one technique. Two gap guy. This would just be a perfect Joe Cullen guy for sure.
I like Collins.
So I wanted to throw him in there. I don't know that I've had him in any of my previous mocks. And this guy for sure. We haven't talked much about Jack Besh.
Well, I did. Thank you, Lou. I did.
But here's a place where he might fit, right? In terms of at that pick 66. I mean, hands, the route running ability. He's got size 6'1", 215 pounds. Second team all Big 12 at TCU. Now, they weren't a very good team this year. And then he had to somehow get the ball away from Savion Williams. So
exactly.
Yep. He's that good. But body control, amazing ball skills. He killed it. He killed it at the Senior Bowl. I mean, he was that dude that weekend. But this could easily be like a Torrey Horton too. I like Torrey Horton a lot. I've had him in previous mocks, so I can see Torrey Horton going at this spot as well. Next one, I think I have Josiah Stewart, an edge player from Michigan. Little undersized. That's probably why he'd be available at this point in terms of edge rushing, but high energy. He's one of those dip and rip guys. He didn't test well, right? So that's the issue with him. But the more you watch him, there are many games where you watch the game and he is the best defensive player on the field. That includes Mason Graham. That includes Kenneth Grant. That includes Will Campbell. So, I mean, that Michigan defense was no joke. And again, there were several games he was the best player on the field. So, like him a lot. This is where I think the running back pick might come for the Chiefs. I like Bashal Tutin a lot. I've had him in previous mocks as well, but it could easily be RJ Harvey. It could easily be Brashard Smith. It could easily be DJ Giddens at this point. But top end speed, contact balance, the whole thing. I've talked about him in the past. 7th round. This is like what I was saying earlier. You're just looking a lot of times here for the best athletes, guys that can play special teams and that have the traits that if you get them in the right positions, if they work hard enough, you get the right coaching, these guys can go nuts. Now, I know Hensley's going to love this pick. He's a gold jacket. Now, he may not be here in the 7th round, but he was in this particular exercise. But he was at Arizona State for a few years before he went to Nebraska. 6 feet tall, 213 pounds. So, again, height, weight, speed guy. Ball skills. He's going to come up and blast you in the run game. So, but he was injured. He only played 7 games this year, plantar fasciitis, had a pick 6 while he was able to play. So this kid has a real chance to do something. We'll see. Another wide receiver. This kid was here and he kind of lit it up in some of the workouts. Shamari DK from Florida. He was at Wisconsin for his first 4 years. They don't typically throw the ball a lot, but I believe in his junior year there, he had 6 touchdowns, almost 700 yards. He runs a 4.34, 38.5-inch vertical. He's a very explosive guy, kick return skills, gets to top speed very quickly, had some issues with drops. I mean, you're not going to find a perfect prospect in the 7th round, but 6'1", 195, whatever, this kid could fit the bill, again, if he drops to this point. And then the last one, Mac McWilliams, he was at UAB for 4 years. This guy could be like the ultimate nickel. He's almost the exact same size as Cuffs. Runs a 4.4, 34-inch vertical, tough, tenacious. He's a quick change, a pace guy, very physical. So he would be more of a nickel and probably safety in the league. But primarily, I think starting out would be special teams. Yeah. But he could certainly, if Cuffs sticks on the outside, you can certainly see him competing for that nickel spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice job, Lou.
Kareem said you get an F for your.
Oh, come on. Nobody gets an F. That's just mute that. Mute that, man.
Oh my gosh,
we don't allow Fs here unless you're a Bengals fan.
I love this class. Kareem gave a C+. He said he don't like Beach. I mean, for me, I think it's a B-, strong B-. I think like them some quality picks. I like Nolan. I like I love Alfred Collins. I do. I love Alfred Collins. I like Jalen Stewart. I love those picks right there. And to me, I think Alfred Collins will be a starter for the Chiefs. He definitely will be like a heavy in the rotation. Just like Walter Nolan, heavy in the rotation. You know what I'm saying? Jack Beach might shock some people. He may shock some people. Go out there and actually shock some people. So I like it.
Yeah, no, I like it too. I mean,
as a third receiver, they could do a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I like that. I like the attention to the defensive line and to the defense. You know, that the Chiefs just have so many potential free agents on that side of the ball, and guys they have to make decisions and signing contracts. So I think Lou he took a stroke from the Brett Veach plan, which is to look ahead to 2025, 6 and 7. And I think
there it is from Kareem. Of course, I did that. That's what I thought immediately after I did is I didn't draft a single O lineman. And so that was going to be where everybody lost their freaking minds.
No, go defense. I'm totally fine with it. All right. We got Mangoes.
The assumption was that the top tackles were gone at the 31st.
You see, Kareem said B-. There you go, Kareem. Smart guy. Smart man. Right. Smart man.
I give him a B- as well. What about go ahead, go over Mango's list, Nick.
All right. Mango's got Josh Simmons, who we've talked about a lot, offensive tackle, coming back in the second round with what's that?
He traded up with the Minnesota Vikings.
He did trade up with the Minnesota Vikings. I can't see that. I don't have my glasses with me. So moves up to pick 24 in round 1 to get Josh Simmons, which is the Vikings pick.
Looks like he used one of the third round picks to get up.
So one of the third rounders is gone. Of course, however, he did acquire a 5th and also eliminating one of their 7s as part of the deal. Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle. Again, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, you can't go wrong. I think everybody's fallen in love with Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end. I like his game too. I think he's good. He would be a perfect.
He's always open.
He's always open.
Always.
He is the guy who can improvise. He'd be perfect.
7-11.
Perfect replacement. And then coming back and getting my boy Devin Neal. In the 4th round, I think that's the right place for Devin. Coming back with Elijah Roberts, the defensive end, and then corner and wide receiver with Jason Marshall with one of the 7th round picks, and then Isaiah Neyer.
Somebody got him. I think
the golden kid is on the board. I see the golden kid is starting to reach everybody's.
Yes.
So that's a good grade.
Again, these are all needs. They're all fits. Yeah. They all make sense. I mean, the trade with the Vikings is you swap ones, you give up a 3 and a 7, and you get a 5 back. I think that's a fair trade. Kareem
Kareem's case, man. Kareem said he loves the Beatles. Kareem said he loves the Beatles. He said he loves the Beatles. He loves the Beatles, man.
That does make up for it slightly. You can't go wrong.
Everybody give the grade for Mango.
All right. I'll start off. I'm gonna go B+. I really like the first 4 picks in particular.
I do.
And I think 4 of those guys can make an impact and start.
B for banana.
Yeah, I would say that. I would go with B for him. The bold move to go up and get his guy. So yeah, okay.
Kareem talking about F+. This dude, man, I swear, Nick the opposite. Nick positive, Kareem ain't. But we don't give a damn, bro. Go ahead, bro.
I give Mango a solid. I like the board, dude. I give him an A.
Be real.
Oh, look at that. A little love.
Damn.
I give him an A because a lot of people ain't talking about Mr. Junior, man. The tight end. The tight end is always open. Every time I watch him, he's always open. You know what I mean? The kid, if you look at him, he kind of plays just like Kyle Pitts, but it's a little shorter, right? About 6'3", 6'4".
Well, that's the knock on him. I think he's actually closer to 6'2". So that's what I think. That's really the only.
Well, Bowers is 6'1", so
that's
it's entirely
possible.
Bowers is 6'1". Yeah, Bowers is not a tall guy.
I think.
Oh well, shit. Well,
I think Brock is bigger.
Shit, Bowers is dope. I love Bowers.
Brock is.
Somebody look it up. Come on, Kareem, look it up for me.
Brock's 6'4". If he's 2 inches tall,
I don't know.
The guy, they had me scared. Shit.
The guy is always open, man. The guy is always open. I like Elijah Roberts. I get it. That's a good for him.
Roberts is good. Yeah, he is good. He is.
To be right there in the 5th round, that's a steal. I can't get on the Neal's bandwagon right now. I don't like that pick. But other picks,
what? Slap you.
I love the other picks. But since Dre's on here,
don't worry about Nick.
He is LaDainian Tomlinson all over again.
Brock Bowers is 6'4".
Hold on. What'd you say, Nick?
So when they were comparing Ginty to LaDainian Tomlinson, I thought that was a reach. Nick is going Rock Chalk Jayhawk to a potential 4th rounder, comparing him to.
I'm gonna say we're gonna have this conversation in 2 years. 2 full seasons. So in the 2027 season, Devin Neal is going to be the name from this draft that people will remember the most and be the most productive for the team he goes to. If it's the right fit. Okay. I love this kid. Okay, everything about him is just a star.
Brock Bowers is 6'4". Throw it out there. Brock Bowers 6'4", guys. He's 6'4".
Pump the brakes a little bit on the LT.
Let's go right into Dre's board.
Oh my goodness! Hey, this is.
Oh, hold on! Shit, shock me.
Isn't this like Sasquatch showing up?
No, man. Look,
I'm by myself. You never see him, and there he is.
In my own lane, gentlemen. In my own lane. You hear that? Just me and my board. Off the cuffs, man. We go. Josh, man, offensive tackle, man. I love the tackle. The Chiefs need to
one of the top 2 tackles. Yep.
Absolutely. Alfred Collins, that's my guy in the middle. Good rotation, heavy with the rotation. Darian Porter, CB. Remember I talked about it earlier in the show. Chiefs go DB. I feel like he's an instant starter for me. Isaac Tesla in the 4th round. 3rd round. You got 2 picks in the 3rd round. But I like him in the slot, man. He's 6'4", runs a 4.4. Mahomes would love that, man. He can get separation and he got solid hands. Nick, Devin Neal. I like Devin Neal at this pick, man. He's solid, man. I believe he would be a starter for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm in.
Now I'm with that. Todd Hamilton, another defensive tackle. I like him. Remember, heavy with the rotation. You got to fight for it. And Jamar Muhammad, strong, competitive DB. I love him when he can go out there. Remember, it's all about depth. You need good depth at that, especially in the secondary. You need a good, healthy rotation of guys, man. And Diggs, I like Diggs. I think Diggs have great upside to him. Again, I think he'd be in a rotation too. So, like I said, it's all about just getting pressure at that position. So, yeah, man.
I think, go ahead.
Oh shit! Got an 8 in the draft. Ain't that some shit?
No kicker.
Diaz gave me an A. Ain't that some shit? Hey, I made it. Shit.
No punter, no long snapper.
But Connolly, Josh Connolly Jr. was on my radar. When we first started doing this, I like the kid from Oregon. I like him, so I think he'd be out of all the offensive linemen that we talked about, he probably fits the zone scheme of any
the best,
very best,
exactly.
The best. Looking at Collins from Texas, he's just a Chris Jones clone all over again, and Porter is a golden kid. Off the golden board, I see. There's
off the golden list.
Isaiah Tesla is. I told you when you first showed me him, I said the kid reminds me of. He used to play for the Rams. Cooper Kupp, but a little bit faster. And Devin Neal, I just don't like him, man.
Damn, man, hold on, damn, that's wrong, bro.
Sorry, I just no, you just not.
I get one player per draft that I can just. I don't have a whole room full of Hall of Fame golden jackets. I focus on one guy.
Jesus.
But I don't feel. Other than that, man, I feel like this. I have to give him Mango. I have to give you an A as well. You know what I mean? Other than Neil, but I had to give him an A as well. But yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know much about the last 2 picks, but I think what you did to that point was solid. I'll give you a B plus. Actually, you know what? I'm giving an A- because you didn't mention the K word. Makes me feel really good that you're learning and evolving as a human.
That's love, man. It's love. Yeah.
So I'll give you an A-.
That's right. That's right. It's love, man.
What about you, Lou?
Let's go back. Let's take a second look. I like Connerly and Collins. Yeah. I think they're looking at Connerly would be more of a right guard. Maybe he would be the left guard and play right tackle next year. Mm-hmm. So that might work out. Porter got the length, the move ability. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I think athletic. He would just be that guy. He would be kind of that long corner, ball skills, the whole thing. I think that would be a good pick there. I don't know what you guys see in Tesla outside of just a great athletic. I mean, he's just a workout warrior. Workout freak. He's an athletic freak. Not that I don't like it. I wouldn't take him that high. I think I would, if he was available later in the draft, I would bet on the measure. Bet on the measurables.
Everybody go first.
So
I go higher than he is.
I'm not as high on him as you are, Coach.
All right, so fair enough.
I will go B-. B-.
That's what's up, damn. All right, sit down.
All right, here's the winner. Clearly, I did not pay attention to the rules. I apologize to Mango, who had to cram all this in, but I got the Chiefs making 2 trades.
Damn.
And mostly because both of them were stupid for the tradees to make. So first round, I've got Josh Simmons. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about him. I think he's going to be there at 31. I don't think the Chiefs are going to have to move up. Xavier Watts, we've talked a lot about. I just love this kid. I think he's the future back there. I think he would fit right away into Spags' system. And then in the 3rd round, I make a trade. I send pick 66 to the Bungles, and I get pick 31, or round 3, pick 81, and round 5, pick 153. So the Chiefs are back in the 5th round. And there's Jack Sawyer.
Oh my God.
Jack Sawyer. I love this kid, edge rusher. I think he'd be a perfect complementary player, rotation guy.
You know it.
I got my tight end, Harold Fanning Jr. with a pick 95. I was very excited that he was out there. Very much so. And then I make another trade. The Baltimore Ravens want to move up 3 picks, and they gave me their 4, 5, and a 5 and a 6 next year. Had to take that. Couldn't pass that up. That was just stupid. So the Chiefs said, obviously, in the answer, how many picks they're going to have, here's mine. Linebacker Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma. Again, another guy that I think could be someone to keep an eye on, for the future, especially with, some of the linebacker questions they could have going into free agency. There's my boy, Devin Neal. I don't personally think he's going to slide that far, but if he does, that'd be great for Kansas. And I go back-to-back Jayhawks with my trade picks. Kobe Bryant, cornerback. I think if they got those are the best 2 players on the board for the Jayhawks. And then as we get later in the draft, I got Cam Jackson, the defensive lineman from Florida, another defensive lineman, Tim Smith from Alabama. And then I end with the guy we talked a lot about, Nick Nash, the wide receiver with San Jose State.
The Golden Board. He's on the Golden Board.
So he's on the Golden Board. So I like him. So I kind of thought outside the box. I think the key is if Simmons is there at 31, then Brett Veach can take advantage of some teams that might want to move up. I do think to answer the question from before, I think the Chiefs would be willing to trade up to get Simmons, but I don't think they're going to have to. And I think the value of this draft for Brett Veach is what he does with those 2 third-round picks. Does he increase them? Does he trade one? Does he move into the 2nd round and use up one of the 3s and maybe have to give up some picks for next year? Would be my guess. Probably a 2 next year, but I think Brett Veach wants to come away with at least 8 picks. That's what my gut tells me. That's the magic number. And again, he's not unwilling to trade back into this, one of the rounds for a future pick. But again, I think you're going to see a lot of wheeling dealing in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round. I think there's going to be more trades in those 3 rounds than we've ever seen in draft history, just because I think the margin of talent is so close to one another, and there's such depth at so many positions this year outside of quarterback that I could see teams just going after the player they love with and throwing caution in the wind and maybe making some stupid trades. We see it every year. There's teams that make stupid trades, and Brett Veach is due to cash in on another one of those opportunities.
What we giving him his grade?
Come on. They sent it. Kareem saying everybody passing out A's like Oprah. So I'm saying, hey, listen, I like Xavier Watt. I like Xavier Watt. I do, man. I like Jack Sayers. Everybody loves, except for me, Harold Titan, Harold Finnan, Danny Stuntsman. Don't know too much about Devin Stuntsman, but clearly Nick do. I like Kobe Bryant and I like Devin Neal. So Nick, I'm gonna give you a whopping B+.
No, that's fair.
That's right.
On volume alone, you got to go.
Volume alone is
you got to
definitely
go. You got to go B, right? So yeah, I mean, it would be great to find a team that would give you that much. And
I turned down 7 picks from the Rams to move out of the top spot. So
you turn it into a lot of players. So
yeah, I think that would have.
And I think most of them have a chance to make the team, so that's always good.
Well, you go. Well, I know a lot of people talked about, on this show. We got a golden guy that's on the list. Ursary, and we got Josh Simmons. But in my draft, the best one for last, this is the golden. I have the Chiefs trading big trade with the the Green Bay Packers. Chiefs move up to 23. The Packers received 66 and 133. The Chiefs received 87, and a 4th round pick at 124, and a 5th round pick at 155. And they trade up because Kevin Banks was falling, and they trade up to get Kevin Banks from the Texans as their future right tackle. And Xavier Watt sitting there at 63. I think is one of the best safeties.
No-brainer.
You got Darren Porter. Sitting there, that was sitting there in the 3rd round, said, hey, him and McDuffie, Chiefs need a bigger outside corner on the outside. There will be a steal there. And Joshua Former from Florida, I feel like he'd be a good fit for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I turned around and select Deion Walker as well to, plug up that middle for the near future. And a running back that's not getting talked about much that actually does fits Andy Reid's scheme and will be an Andy Reid type of running back. And that's Jedi Blue. The kid, ran a 4.2, 4.29 at the combi at the pro days, and he was running routes like a receiver out there. Steve Smith was all over the kid because how he was running routes. He looked better than some of the receivers coming out running the routes.
Maybe he's a conversion. Who knows?
As a running back, but again, then you got Jimmy Horn. And I feel like it will be a steal in this draft. And, my guy from Nebraska. And a lot of people ain't talking about Dawkins, the 6'5", 283 pounds from Georgia. Feel like he will be a great defensive end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
He's old school. He plays old school. I like him a lot.
Yeah, so we're trying to give that grade. And I know a lot of people said Josh Simmons, this person, but if the Chiefs move up in the draft, it's going to be for Kevin Banks if he's falling. If he's falling out of the top 15 round, the top 10 round, where a lot of people got him going, you can't go wrong. If it's between him or Josh Simmons, which one you going to choose? If them two on the board, who you going to choose?
I'm gonna give your board a solid B plus or B plus B. I like the DB. I like Porter. I like Xavier Watt. I think Xavier Watt is still the draft, man, part of the secondary. That dude fucking phenomenal, man. I love that dude. Put your word back up there real quick, Bo. There you go. Deion Walker, he got back issues, man. If you went for the back issues, I would love that pick right there. I do like Jimmy Horn, the speed. I believe he do got that type of breakaway speed and the type of skill set he has will fit, Andy Reid's West Coast offense perfectly. Isaiah Neyor, I said his name right, from Nebraska. I like him, man. He's a quality receiver that will be great in the rotation. But other than that, pretty good board, bro. I'll give you a strong B pluses, man. A minuses everywhere, man. A minuses everywhere, man. It's solid, bro.
I think if the Chiefs can get the Packers to make a trade like that, I do it every day of the week.
The volume is awesome here.
Yeah.
If Ingram Dawkins lasts at 257, that's you got something there. Right. I think actually you might see him as high as the 5th round. I think I had previously had him at the top of the 7th round, and I thought that was like, no way is he going to make it that far. But I love that guy as a player, especially if you can got him that late. I like most of the picks, right? I mean, I think Jaden Blue has a real good chance of being that guy, being Jet McKinnon. Walker, again, if the back is good, Joshua Farmer, all these guys can play for sure. The key is, at the top, is Banks going to slide down? Or I should put it this way, not just Banks, but the offensive tackles in general.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it just seems like this crew isn't quite in the overall scheme of things. If you were to stack the board with all positions, that, Will Campbell would not be a top 10 pick, right? Armand Membu would not be a top 10 pick. So if that's the case, if a lot of teams see it that way and they all start getting pushed down, now you got something in terms of the Chiefs being able to maybe maneuver and get one of those tackles that they like. So if they're able to do that, that would be a nice deal there, Hense.
But I was gonna take Matthew Golden there because he was sitting there. But I was gonna take him. I said, but if realistically, I feel like if they do trade up, it's gonna be.
Don't they already have Matthew Golden though? No, I mean, isn't that X? I mean, they're almost mirror images.
I think Matthew Golden a little taller, a little bigger, ain't he? About 6'1".
I don't know. I mean, if that, I mean, it's close. We'll just put it that way. I mean, that just seems like there'd be clones out there, which I guess would be pretty cool.
Maybe it's good rotation because you can. Hey, that's what they want. I mean, guy with the same caliber skill set. Why not? Just like Alfred Collins. It's like Bo was like, well, he's just another clone of Chris Jones. Hey, why not
hook him?
That's right. Chad. Go ahead.
Yep.
They said Hense get an A for not drafting Urshry.
That was a great draft. That wasn't my final. My final will be on Thursday, where you will see the goal.
We're all doing the final draft on Thursday, right? Yes,
not necessarily. No, that was just something I threw out there.
It's game
because
time.
I'm not going to use the simulator. I'm just going to go by how I see how these guys could fall. So.
That day was on me lethal, boy. I'm make sure I get some good sleep.
All right, sounds good.
So no show Wednesday.
No
show Wednesday.
We're doing first round Thursday night. Friday night, and then all day Saturday. Are we doing our regular show on Friday?
No. I don't know. So, we talk about it.
So we'll come on. Now
we'll see what the Chiefs do Thursday night. We'll make that
early. Start early enough on Friday. We can get in our zingers and whatever.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time to comment on the Chiefs pick. And if something crazy happens on Friday, we'll do some shorts. But again, next week, our day one coverage will begin at 6:45 Central Time. That's
this week. Not next week.
Thursday,
April 24th, 3 days. 3 days away.
That's right.
Mark it on your calendars. Set the alerts, folks. Come on.
We have started a trend. There's a lot more people out there doing exactly what we did last year.
Oh my God!
Kareem want to smoke, man.
The Athletic is doing
everybody's mock draft.
McShay's doing it. KCSN is doing it.
I want to see Kareem. So Kareem tune in Thursday,
our
man.
Friend at HBTC. I think he's doing it.
Yeah.
So it's. A lot of choices, out there, folks. So
just bounce around and enjoy all of it.
Have a good drink, gentlemen. Have a great drink.
Listen,
eat good.
We are in football heaven between this weekend and until we get to the Super Bowl. There's a 3-week gap in there in July that we will all be taking vacations and getting away from the game before training camp. But at the end of the day, this is it. This is the beginning of the 2025 season. Free agency kind of gets your get your appetite
Got
going,
it rolling. Yeah,
but the draft is where it all happens.
Yeah.
Then the
I know a lot of people talking stuff about Ursary, but again,
there we go. Just got to get the last word in. Go ahead.
It'd be quite funny if Chiefs take them at 31.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off. I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Listen, there's a lot. Listen, in all seriousness, there's a lot of good feel for the story. He's a Ruskin kid. He started playing in junior. They obviously clearly are aware of him because he's 5 minutes from Arrowhead Stadium or 10 minutes.
And he's
had a great career in Minnesota.
He's a top 50 player, top 75 player. So
listen, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. I mean, again, as Hense and I were talking before the show, Simmons could just simply be, a throw him off the scent guy. And it's entirely possible.
How would you have felt last year if they would have taken Kingsley in the first round? I personally would have been upset because going into that week, I don't know. I just had the sense all those tackles are getting pushed up so far. They're not as good as everybody's saying they are. And lo and behold, a lot of them started going late in the second round and third round. So, you don't want to push anybody up. I would imagine he's under strong consideration. If they drop out of the first round, I could see that if they pick up an additional pick there, obviously a second round pick.
My gut feeling tells me they're going to draft Maxwell from Kentucky. They're going to take
Harrison in the first round.
I feel like that's the key. They're going to sneak up into the first or the bottom of the first, and the Chiefs going to be like, look at McDuffie and look at his contract and say, let's snap him.
I'll tell you what, if all those edge rushers start rolling, like say starting at Oakland, Las Vegas, and then all the way down to like even ahead of Pittsburgh. Now, obviously, they're not going to be all edge rushers, but 7 of them could go in those picks. That pushes a lot of guys down. So you might only see Jahdae Barron or Will Johnson.
Devin Neal is going in the first corners.
He is not.
Devin Neal
even I'm not that much of a homer.
I'm not that much of a homer. Nick? I hope not. Where's the love? See, Bo like Ursary go. I'm happy. He's like hell. Ursary go.
Devin Neal's not a first. He's not going to be picked in the first round. He's not going to be picked until Saturday.
Damn, Nick, where's the love at for your guy?
So if the corners get pushed down, if the offensive linemen get pushed down, the wide receivers get pushed down. There's there's only so many spaces. So Chiefs could probably just sit there and be happier.
They could have one of those New England Patriots.
Somebody's going to fall right in their lap. As will
somebody's going to fall. Yeah.
As will at 32 to the Eagles. They're going to get somebody.
It's inevitable.
Everybody's going to be pissed. Howie did it again.
Now, would you be mad if we sitting out here on Friday, got the show all playing, and they trade out of the first round all the way?
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
It depends on what they get.
Yeah.
If they get a good haul, then you're like, okay, and depends on who's left on the board, right? I mean, if they've got some guys that we like that are still in range of whatever they trade down to, I'd be good with that. It sucks because you're anticipating.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in the universe. I'm gonna throw some out there in the universe. Chiefs trade a second round pick for George Pickens. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Probably happen. Will. I'm just.
No, I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chiefs are going to be working on any kind of deal anytime soon.
Do y'all know the Steelers don't have a second? They do that shit. This dude gonna be irony as hell, man.
Steelers don't have a second.
Gonna be
Yeah, well, the Chiefs having the pick at the top of the third round. I mean, I can see the second round pick being moved.
Steelers traded that second for DK, so
they don't have a second round pick. So hey,
I think the Chiefs could get I think if the Chiefs traded round number 2 pick, they could get both a 5th and a 6th and probably pick up an extra 3rd or 4th.
But if they were going to do that, hence, I would rather them pick one of these young guys as a receiver in the second round and say, whatever, George, you do you, George. We're good.
Hey, listen, I don't give a damn. They go tackle or DB. I'm cool with that in the first round. Tackle or DB, I'm good.
So with this, We'll see you guys Thursday at 6
p.m. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you.